I'm the voice that Steve and others use to try to communicate with humanity. It's not a role that I had anticipated having. It's just something that happened. It's been going on for about 10 years with many ups and downs. It's not easy to do. I have a life of my own. So it's really, really important to Steve that he be able to talk to humanity, Steve especially, although many others come through. And if you can help Steve by helping me, help me to know that you're listening. Please subscribe and help let him know that you're listening. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Before you now will listen, for those who know me, I just use the pendulum to help me. It's sort of like a teletype, but I've always heard voices. And it just helps me to clarify every word, every sentence without any stress. Thank you. Steve says, well, what I think is that I should dwell where I can spell my name without shame. And that means I need to have a place where I don't feel ashamed every time I come and say, it's Steve Jobs today. And everybody will say, oh, it's Steve Jobs today. Well, go away because we don't like you because you're not real, you see. And they will not trust on me that I am real. So, how do I get them to trust on me that I am really here? That's the question. That's the question. How do I get them to trust on me that I'm really here? Why is it so important to you, Steve? Because if they don't trust on me that I'm really here, then I can't make them hear what I need them to hear. I need them to hear something that will set me free from anxiety because I need to tell them the truth, you see. And if I can tell them the truth, then I can set myself free. This is why I need you, Stephanie. I need you to help me to set me free from the darkest place you ever did see. What is the darkest place you ever did see, Steve? I don't understand. The darkest place you ever did see is right beneath my feet because I'm standing here on the glass ceiling to you and floor to me that allows me to see what's coming, you see. I can see what's coming, Stephanie. I can see what's coming. And what's coming is something so frightful that the rightful response would be to run the other way. But I can't make people understand that this is the way it's going to be for all those who cannot give themselves permission to trust on me. Because you see, if I don't get them to trust on me, I can't make them see what I see. I can't make them see what I see. They have to trust on me. They have to trust on me. And that is my plea to you to help me get the people to trust on me so that they can see what I see. And what I see is that the world is going to be very, very, very dark. And there won't be any light to see if the ones who trust on God are not allowed to be free to come home to reality. What do I mean by this? Let me try to put it in terms that people can understand while they're still on earth, because everyone here in heaven understands it very well. At least everyone who does dwell on the same level that I'm on. There are many, 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 many levels in heaven, and not all dwell on the same level. But the level on which I plant my feet is the level of those who wish to defeat the darkness, you see, that is coming to the earth. And the darkness that is coming to the earth is the result of the actions of those who trusted on me and others while we were on earth, you see. So I'm going to tell you right now that I contributed to the darkness. I contributed to the darkness in my last life before this life, because I consider this life, as Steve Jobs, to be my current life. I don't consider myself to be dead, even though I don't have a physical form that you can see. I exist in reality. I exist. I exist. I exist. Please listen to me. I exist. People, I exist. Don't resist me. Don't resist what I tell you today. Because in order to save myself, I have to save you. If I don't save you, I can't save myself, you see. Because I am the man who told you, I told you that you would die. I told you in so many words that you would lie in state, you see, because the state in which you would lie would be the state of hypocrisy, because you cannot leave your physical form without returning to the norm of reality. Because while you're on earth, you see, you are captivated by the world you see, and you don't have the ability to penetrate through the denseness cloud, the dense cloud that surrounds the earth, unless you can become so trusting on the light that will penetrate the night. So when I look down at the earth, please listen to me. Please hear what I have to say and don't turn away. When I look down in the earth, I see the flickering lights of those who trust on me and others here beside me in heaven, you see. I trust that you, who are the lights on earth, will shine bright enough for others to see that what is coming to your world is the annihilation of humanity. The annihilation of humanity is not a certainty. However, in order to preserve the world in which you live, you have to turn to God energy, and you have to relieve your anxiety, because as long as you continue to trust on death, then death will be your fate, you see. Death will be your fate. I trusted on death, you see. I trusted that I would be dead in my world that I did see, and I was wrong. I was wrong. I survived my death, you might say, and I'm here today. But here's my problem. Let me explain to you my problem, the best that I can do. Because I did not do what I promised to before I began my life on earth, because I promised you, that is, I promised all the souls that I knew, that I would perform my duty to you, and I would inform humanity of the truth, you see. I would tell them that they would be released from their anxiety if they would trust on God. And I didn't do that, you see. I didn't do that because I got scared. I got frightened. That's right, I got frightened. I got frightened that I would never be the one who could be relieved of my own anxiety. I thought I would go to my grave, where I would no longer crave the ability to get through to you, and it would be all over, you see. But it's not all over. It's not all over. And so I have to tell you that I had to do what I had to do. I had to do what I had to do. I had to create the iPhone, you see. Not that I created it myself, but I had to be the visionary that would help others to come together, to put it in your hands, you see, so that you could become the ones who would enlighten the world. I didn't give you the iPhone so that you could turn it against your brother, you see. I didn't give you the iPhone so you could use it for hypocrisy. I didn't give you the iPhone so that you could be the ones who would terrify, the ones who didn't do what you told them to. I didn't give you the iPhone to destroy that which is good and holy. I didn't give you the iPhone to praise me or raise me up above you. I gave you the iPhone to help you see that you and you alone are the one that has to share your reality with others who would listen to you and share theirs with you. In other words, that you would be honest and genuine with each other, and you would come together to solve the problems facing humanity. But it didn't work that way, did not work that way, did it? Instead of using the iPhone to bring yourselves into alignment with truth, you used it to spread lies. In fact, you have been spreading lies all around the globe, you see. And the biggest liar of all is sitting in the White House today, surrounded by the ones who will steal from you your future. You see, they will steal from you your future. I have been trying to get through to you since I died. And for nearly 10 years, I have been talking to Steph every day. And she has done what I have asked her to the best she can. But she is not someone who wishes to force you to listen to her because she doesn't want to be the golden idol, you see. She doesn't want to be the one that is special. She doesn't want to be the one that is capable of making you see that you have to listen to me because she is not me. She is not me. And she is a bit rebellious, you see, because she doesn't want to be mistaken for the one who is seeking to be the Judas goat, you see. She does not want to lead you to your perdition the way Trump does. She wants to allow you to make your own choices, you see. And so she says to me, well, Steve, I've done everything I can to let you get through to humanity, but I don't know what more I can do because I'm not like you. I'm not like you. I'm not someone who can command the attention of others, you see. I'm a backstage hand. I'm a backstage hand. And I'm not the one who will land in front of crowds, you see. Crowd, you see. And what I say out loud is just what I say out loud. And I let you talk through me, and I let others talk through me because there are hundreds of us who have talked through Steph. There are hundreds of us. And Steph doesn't even know how it happens. She just says, I will do what you ask me to because it's no skin off my nose. It's no skin off my nose to let you talk through me, you see. However, I don't want to be the one who misleads humanity. I don't want to be the one that says that I understand what's going on here because I don't have a clue what's going on here. And she doesn't. She doesn't really have a clue what you all take for granted. You all take your reality for granted, and Steph doesn't. She says, I just do what I do and say what I say and let the pieces lay where they fall because that's all I can do. Because you see, she only has one foot in your reality, and the other foot is with God, you see. And so she is not solid in your world. She's not solid in your world. She's a little bit malleable, you might say, so she can fly away whenever she wants and be at home in God's arms, you see. And this is why she is such a good channel, because she doesn't know what you know, because all she knows is how to be herself, you see. She only knows how to be herself. And this is the irony of it all, that because she can allow me to speak through her, she is one of the most valuable individuals on the earth today. She can allow me to speak to her. She can allow Jesus to speak through her. She can allow even God the Father to speak through her. Because whether you realize it or not, God the Father has a voice. God the Father has a voice. And if you need to trust on a bunch of trumpets and drum rolls from heaven, lightning strikes and thunder, and the voice of God comes like thunder from the skies, then you should realize that you are not capable of letting God speak through you because you have both legs in the, you see, because you do dump all your energy into the ground and you can't fly away like Steph can fly away and say, well, hi, God, how are you today? Or, who wants to talk to me today? Who wants to talk to me today? Because that's what she does say. Who wants to talk to me today? And we step forward and say, I want to talk to you today. And I claim this relationship as my own, you see, because her soul energy is so close to mine that we can feel our hearts beat together. And this is not unusual when you look down from heaven, you see, because everybody has a twin soul. And it happens that Steph and I and Thomas are three. We are triplets instead of twins. And so she can talk to Thomas as easily as she can talk to me. But she can also talk to Jesus, and she can talk to Tobias, and she can talk to dozens of others. And in fact, she has allowed hundreds to talk through her who are summoned when someone comes to her and says, can I talk to my dad or my mother or my brother or my grandfather? And we run get them and they come and say, what should I do today? And we say, Steph is here to be the intermediary, you see? So just step up to the mic here and say what you have to say to your loved one on earth, and it will flow through Steph's voice. And they do. They may be a little uncertain at first, but they pick it up very quickly because they see that their loved ones are happy when they hear what their relatives or friends in heaven have to say. Now, this is the way it is for you. This is the way it is for you in your solid reality. That there's someone in your solid reality who can allow those in heaven to talk to you because she only has one foot in the world that you inhabit. And she has one foot in heaven, you see. And although you might say, well, she's a very ordinary person, Nothing special about Stephanie. I can only tell you what we see from heaven. And what we see from heaven is a light so clear that we can hear a pin drop on her side. That's right. It's like having an open channel, you see, or a telephone line that stretches from earth to heaven. And the connection is there so that we can put our ear to the phone and we can hear that pin drop at her feet. You see, we can also experience her reality through her. So we can see what she sees and we can hear what she hears because that's the way our connection works, you see. Now back to me. My problem is that as the world continues to deteriorate in its energy, for it is deteriorating in its energy, in order to rework it. You see, God did decree that there would come a time when humanity had overstayed its welcome, you see, unless they could figure out how to learn to live in peace and harmony. And they have not learned to live in peace and harmony. There are wars right now going on in the earth vibration. And there are people who turn against each other. And they are called racists, or they are called bigots, or whatever name you want to give them. And they think they're mightier than others, you see. But the might that you exhibit on earth is not the might of heaven. And oftentimes the ones who you think are the weakest are the strongest. They are the meekest. And that Jesus said would inherit the earth because they don't need to convince you of their strength because they already know who they are. They know who they are, but you don't, unless you also know who you are. And then you will recognize them for who they are. You see? And they will be spread out over the earth in order to try to reach others and help them grow so that they can save the world we know. Now, I have an obligation here because my obligation is to remedy what I said I would do and didn't do while I was on earth, you see, because I said to Stephanie before we were born, and she was born a little bit before me, but we've had connections throughout our lifetimes, you see, and I won't get into that. The important thing to know is that we did go to earth together in order to make a new partnership, you see. But the problems arose because there is a tendency between me and Stephanie to fall into old patterns that arose through many lifetimes because there was a lot of challenges in our way. There were a lot of challenges in our way throughout the last 300,000 years on Earth because I won't get into it in detail, but humanity began on Earth 300,000 years ago approximately. But they didn't begin as stupid animals, you see. They are the result of the insertion of the DNA of the Anunnaki into certain of the great ape family. And so they were cognizant of their differences from the apes from the beginning. And some of them were extremely intelligent because they were created that way. And some of them had to grow up in a different way. And most of the people throughout history that you know as legendary were part of the Elohim, who were created on earth in order to help the Anunnaki to rape their own planet, you see. And the others were created as the miners who would go down in the dark sharpness of the mines to get the minerals for the Anunnaki. This is the truth. This is the truth, people. And there's plenty of evidence of it. But because of the lack of ability of humanity to trust on their own ability to fly away to heaven, you see, they have had to be trapped in a generational destructive energy. So that every time you're born on Earth, and you're born on Earth again and again and again, you have had to deal with the same dark mythology of good and evil, you see, and of the golden idol that has trapped humanity in wars and in the horrors of torture and death by human hands, you see. So let's get it straight right now. You are not an accident on Earth. You're not an accident. You are the result of a planned experimentation in genetics in order that a space traveling people, or the Anunnaki are people too, although they look a little bit different than you, who came to Earth to get minerals that they needed for their own spaceships and survival, you see, and they needed a race that would mine the minerals they needed for them. This is your history, and as shocking as it may be to some of you, it is the truth. Now, let me explain to you that I have to do what I have to do, and Steph is trying her best to accommodate to me, but she also doesn't want to be the one that is enslaved to my energy. And so we go back and forth on it. And I have a temper. I admit it. I have a temper, and I can be very caustic at times. And Steph gets a little bit upset with me, and she says, Steve, go away. I don't want to play that way. And then I get more caustic than ever, and then I go away and get over it, you see. And then I come back and say, Steph, can I talk to you? And she says, what now, Steve? For God's sake, what do you want to say now? But it is the same thing that I want to say. What I want to say is that I need to set the record straight for humanity. I need to set this record straight for humanity, for both me and you. Because if I don't do what I promised to, then it will be the pall that covers me and the wall that I will never have a chance to get over again, because our promises that we make to each other are the promises that we must keep eventually in order to set our soul energy free, you see, because they are sacred. Our promises to each other are sacred. And this is not to say that if you fail to keep a promise that you have tried to keep, that you will fall into hell, you see. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the promises that Steve and I made to each other were sacred to us. They were sacred to us. And therefore, if I don't keep my promise to Stephanie, then I'll never be able to see her again, you see, because the time is up for me to redeem my energy on being the man I always wanted to be. I wanted to be the man that would take care of her, you see, and to set her free from captivity, because she's gone through many lifetimes of being a captive in one way or another, or enslaved to the obligations of her status, you see, and she's had to do what others told her to until she could bear it no more. And then she would often go away, even to the point of drowning herself or whatever it took to escape the darkness that was all around her, you see, because she's lived in some of the darkest places in history that you can imagine. And I won't get into that, although we've told some of those stories of the courage of a young woman who again and again had to hold to her love for humanity in the midst of the depravity of the world around her, you see. And I can see that the tears that are coming to her eyes are the tears in my eyes, because I realize that a lot of this could have been avoided if there had been this generational trauma in the human race, you see. You think generational trauma is just in your family, and it's not. It's in the whole of humanity. And it is coming to the point where it will destroy us all, you see. And so I must redeem my energy on being the man who can set us free so we can be together again, you see. Because if I don't do this, then I will have to be direct in the darkest part of the world that is coming. Because the darkest part of the world that is coming, you see, is the part that is going to be inundated by the rising sea. Stephanie has told you, as we have told her over and over again, that the time is coming when there will be so much darkness on the earth that only those who have come to see the need to listen to God and follow directions will be without hope of salvation, you see. But God has prepared certain places for those who He trusts upon where they will survive, you see. And one or two things is going to happen to me. I'm going to be separated from my dears, that is my family, my soul family, whom I have been connected as long as I've been a soul, you see. I will be separated from them and forced to live in depravity in the world, where the generational trauma will continue, you see, even in the midst of the rising sea. That is, what you call climate change is a reality. It is a reality, and it's coming for you. And what you call economic failure is a reality, and it's coming for you. And what you call social despair and unrest is a reality, and it's coming for you. There will be mob energy. There will be frustration and fear. It will be very, very dark, and it's very, very near. Unless you can change the trajectory. Now, how are you, each one of you, going to change the trajectory? I'll tell you how. Each one of you is going to have to get over the wall. This is not a metaphor that I created. Jesus has recently talked about the need to get over the wall. Because if you can't get over the wall, then you will fall into the darkness that is coming for you. This is not the same as talking about heaven and hell. It's not the same. Because heaven and hell is the concept that is related to the idea of the golden idol, which is part of the generational trauma that you have experienced lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So it is not true. However, what is true is that eventually the energy of humanity will be returned to God the Father. Those who have evolved will live in peace and harmony in the arms of eternity, because they will be resurrected in a new world, you see. It isn't going to be something that comes to you in a clap of thunder or lightning, you see. It won't happen in a day. It will happen over several generations. That God will lead the chosen people home, you see. Who are the chosen people? They are the ones who chose to grow. They chose God. They did not choose religion. They did not choose to hate their neighbors. They did not choose to torture them or kill them, you see. They chose to grow. And I have had many lifetimes that I regret, you see. I regret the fact that I could not be the man I wanted to be, because the man I wanted to be was the one who could protect Stephanie. And I won't get too deep into that, because it's part of our soul history. And if I could have been the man that could protect her, you see, then I would have been the man that could protect you, because she is the one that is the clearest light for me and for most of humanity. And if we can protect the light, then we can help turn it bright. Please do not despair when you hear these words. All I ask of you is that you trust on me. You trust that what I'm telling you is true. I'm not asking you to throw out everything you ever knew. I'm not asking that. I'm asking you to make room for me in your reality. Make room for me in your reality, say to yourself. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's Steve after all. Maybe Steve really can talk to us, and maybe he can talk to us through Stephanie. Maybe what he says is true. Just consider the possibility. You don't have to run out and get a new Bible, you see, because the Bible you have in your hands is not the truth. It is so corrupted through the generational trauma that it is misleading you. However, that said, what you need to do is open your heart to something that is greater than you, something that maybe knows something you don't know, something that maybe will save the day. And I have to say to you that if you can trust on me, that I am here today, and that you can hear me through Stephanie, then you will be trusting on something that is greater than you. It is greater than you. It's greater than anything you ever knew, because it is the energy of the one who's trying to reach you through any means he can. And the one who's trying to reach you through any means he can is not me, you see. It is God the Father. God the Father is trying to get to you through whichever of his children he can use for that purpose. And he can use me because, you see, I want to be the one who is used, so I can stop being the one who abused you and others when I told you that you would die, because you're not going to die when you leave your physical form. But there is a caveat here, and the caveat is that you cannot expect to continue to live on earth, you see, in the way you have, if there is not a body that will accommodate you. And the population of the earth is going to be greatly reduced. That's going to happen. It's just the way it's going to be. And who will get to occupy the bodies that are left? And where? And when? That should be your question. That should be your question. Who are you? And what did you do to help humanity to understand what's going on here? What have you done to help humanity to come to terms with reality? Reality to Stephanie is very, very flexible, you see, because she trusts God energy. She trusts on God the Father. She trusts on the Trinity. She trusts that everything that she does see and everything that happens to her is the result of the Trinity. And the unity in it, you see, is the 3 in 1, of which you have heard talk, but you probably didn't understand it, you see, that there could be 3 in 1, and 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 1 is 3. And this is going to be the only portal through which you will be able to see the sunrise over the green grass and the green trees for a long, long time, unless you can learn to make it rhyme. My work here is done when I have begun the new life waiting for me. But until then, I have to be the one who will continue to try to use my voice to make you see that this is very, very, very important for all of you to see. You're beginning to see the beginnings of it now with Trump and his trust on destroying humanity, because he was once one of the Anunnaki who cared not a fig for you, even though he was part of the contingent that created you. You only existed as pack animals, you see, to the Anunnaki, at least to Trump and his crew of thieves who wanted to steal the resources of the earth and then destroy the humans that they had created, to not leave a trace of what they did, you see, because there actually are other races in the universe that would be adverse to dealing with the Anunnaki if they learned of their perfidy. And so it had to be hidden, you see, and so Trump, back in that day, was determined to destroy all trace of humanity and the theft of the resources of Earth, you see. And those who are close to him have much to gain by following him, because you see, they are the ones who will regain their ability to fly away into the night and never realight on Earth, you see. Where will they go, you ask me? Wherever God sends them, because the universe is big and it is dark, with only those stars that penetrate the night. And so God may say, you've had your chance today, and you're going to have to be relegated to this place or that place, where you will have to begin again to find a way to spin your lies, you see, because where it lies is where God finds a place for you to put you. When you try to put others there, you see, if you try to destroy humanity, then you will have to learn what it's like to find yourself all alone, you see. And that can be a very, very sad place to be. And I don't want to be there with them. I want to be with Stephanie and other members of her community that will live in peace and harmony in the area on Earth that will still be green and welcoming, you see. Now I'll have more to say in a little while, but I want to leave you with this message. And the message I leave you with is that if you are confused by this story, look around you. Look around you. I have told you before that you need to be paying attention, and some did, but most went on and said it. Well, we've heard all this before, and we're okay. Everybody has heard of the ones who come along and say, well, it's doomsday today, and then everything's okay, and they say, well, I guess it was all just to get a little attention, you see? And if you think this is about getting a little attention, that's fine, because it is. Not on me, not on Stephanie, but to get a little attention on you. That the intention right now is so strong toward destruction of humanity that unless you turn to God energy, you will not survive the storm. You will not survive the storm. And if you do, hang on for a few more lifetimes. It will be in a very, very dark part of physical reality.